station. I could totally survive the zombie apocalypse. Now, let's say, logically thinking, right, that it was, every part of it was realistic. There weren't like any silly little video game mechanics. That wouldn't happen. Let's say a completely real life, no special video games, zombie apocalypse. Okay? Now there's a few different scenarios, like, radiation. That would mess me up. That would destroy me. But if it was like a virus, right, I would totally survive that. Not like a virus, but like zombies happen from getting bitten by this. It's not like airborne. It's more like blood. So if you get bitten by one, or even sometimes scratched, then you get infected to a zombie. Now let's say logically, zombie apocalypse happened. Everybody around you except me. I'm sure there's still some other survivors, but everybody except me is a zombie. I've been bitten. Logically thinking, water and electricity would still be on for a few days, along with gas. I have a well, so if I can power my house somehow, I can have water. 'Cause, yeah, power the well, get the water. We also have gas, which I'd still be able to use an oven and a stove to cook food. I'd be able to, and I live on a farm. We've got, weapons. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but it's fine. I've got weapons, I've got ammo, I've got plenty of canned food in my house. Probably tons of bottled water in my basement. Frozen meat as well, I can eat before the power goes out. I also have tools, such as pickaxes, other things, gardening equipment. I have a tiller. I've got plenty of land to till for food, if it ever comes down to it. I have equipment, not like giant field or tractors, but like, think about it. Let's say I find a way to power a gas pump. That's as much gas as I could ever need. Like, I had to stop at some points because it'd like max out and wouldn't let me buy any more gas, but still, think about it. It won't even be that hard. Now let's say I have to go out and there's zombies all over the place. Realistically speaking, there's not just going to be a ton of zombies in the woods around me. They're going to be in houses. Like, sure, there'll still be some walking around the neighborhood, but I live in a small town. There's not going to be very many. I live, like, I'm getting comfortable for this. I could talk about this for hours. At the end of the day, it's not hard. I've got food, means of water, I've got a generator, I have ways to get gasoline, I have gas tanks in my pole barn. I've got wood, I've got screws and nails when I run out of power to charge screw guns with. I win, bro. I'm sure I've got some sort of plant seed somewhere I can plant food with. And even then, there's food growing right now. It almost always is. When it comes wintertime, I don't have a fireplace in my house. I don't know if it works. But I'm sure I'd figure out how to make one. I've got a giant-ass rock pile in my backyard. I can get tons of rocks from to make a chimney with. And I'm sure I can get some in somewhere. Zombie apocalypses aren't hard. You just need to try a little harder. And let's say I gotta go out. I know I already said that, but I need protection if I find some. Just put some layers on. You know how hard it is to bite through, like, football padding? I've got football padding. And if my family were to get zombified and I'd have to kill them, I'm ready to do that. Like, that sounds really messed up, but in life or death, nah. I'm gonna see if I can cut that part out. That's really bad. Just thinking about that, that's really bad. But, like, if they were to become zombies, it'd mess me up a little mentally. But if my family were to become zombies, and I had to, put them down, it'd probably be better to do that than let them live in misery trying to eat me. Okay? From a moral standpoint, I think that's what would have to happen. Zombie apocalypses aren't hard. Final point. You can still drive cars around. Okay, as long as you have gas, you're fine. Car breaks down, get a new one. You know how easy it would be to get car keys? Just go in the house. I'm sure they're on a table somewhere. And even then, I've got a whole bunch of... Every family member in my house except me drives. Okay? I know where the car keys are to them. They're decent cars. I'm sure I could find somebody who owns like a van or something. Like, sure, I don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything about cars. If it were to, like, break down, I had to fix it, I'd figure out somehow. But, like, still. I'd survive the zombie apocalypse. I've done nothing but think about this every day. I would survive a zombie apocalypse. And another thing, guns would be fine in every game with zombies in it I've ever played. You can't use guns because they're loud and would attract zombies. Let's say zombies knew that they had to go through for humans. They wouldn't instinctively go for the first loud noise. Because it could just be like, I don't know, a tree falling in the woods. You know, that's not necessarily as loud as a gunshot. But, you know, it's not very human. Let's say a wolf were to hear, let's say something that hunts deer. I don't know, a bear, something like that. I don't know what hunts deer. But let's say you hear a tree falling. Let's say the predator that hunting a deer hears a tree falling. They're not instinctively gonna go to that tree because they think it's a deer. They're gonna wait for rustling in bushes that sound like deer, or just wait to see one. Right? Gunshots will, from a predatory standpoint, aren't gonna do nothing but scare the zombies away. Sure, in some ways, zombies would even evolve after a while. Let's say zombies survive through a virus. The virus would evolve to take over their brains and know what certain things mean. But when they hear a gunshot, their first instinct isn't going to be, oh, human over there. It's going to be, ooh, loud noise, big, scary. See what I mean? And I'm sure in the small town I live in that there are plenty of firearms and ammunition and all that. Easy. I could obliterate zombies. And you know how they survive? Through the brain. To kill a zombie, you need to kill his brain. You can't just, like, take out his organs because it's being controlled by a fungus. They're not a fungus. That'd be a whole different scenario. Because what if it was, like, an airborne thing and you had to wear a mask? That wouldn't be that hard. You just put a bunch of, like, layers on to make sure. And if it were... And let's say you were killing them and you got a bunch of blood on you and then you got a scratch. That blood could, like, get in the scratch and infect you. But even then, it wouldn't be... Let's say you did get bitten. Is there a chance that you'd survive the bite? Because your immune system would fight off the infection? And if you couldn't, could you take, like, antibiotics to help fight the zombie infection? I don't know. And if you think about it from, like, a virus standpoint, just a side effect of the virus is just your body rotting, necrosis. It's just taking control of your brain and thinking, oh, we need to expand our population. How are zombies going to survive? Like, after a while, they would just die out? Because they'd have to eat something to stay alive and keep their energy. Unless it was, like, taken by a fungus. Where they were controlled by, like, photosynthesis. I swear to God, I'm not, like, high or anything right now just thinking about this, but, like, after a while, zombies would just die out without eating anything. I just realized that. Let's say, okay, let's restart. Let's say the government announced that aliens are real. That's crazy to me. The government announced that aliens are real and we've come into contact with them.